So as we know, gold doesn't produce us any income as we go along. So whether you have 1 ounce gold, sovereigns, whatever you have, the gold is not multiplying, it's not producing any dividends, it's not producing any income or interest or anything like that along the way, no cash flow, etc. So there are people obviously who are dealers who are buying and selling coins, and you might argue that that is, providing some cash flow, some returns. But for people who are just buying and holding for the longer term, it's not actually producing anything, it is just simply storing value. And we are hoping that in the longer term, that the value we put into gold, we are able to then get back in the future. Now, I'm curious whether you would be happy to literally break even in the future. So whether you think, you pay for this 1 ounce, you pay $2,000 or you pay £1,600, and whether you're happy to get that same amount in fiat terms back in the future, or would you be happy with a certain percentage over? So would that be, the inflation rate that you would be happy with? So for example, if inflation is 10%, just for easy numbers, and you paid 2,000 for this, would you be happy getting 2,200 in 1 year? Or what is your sort of thoughts on that? What are you hoping for in gold, and especially in 2024? So are you hoping it doubles, triples, 10 times is? Is there anything like that you're hoping for? Or do you simply just want it to tick along and hold its value and, be able to buy similar stuff with it in the time period that you hold it? So for me personally, I do invest in other areas. And if you've been on the channel for a while, you'll know that gold isn't what I'm sort of all in on or anything like that. I do invest in multiple asset classes, if you like. And I also, as well, I consider gold more as part of the long-term savings. So I don't really consider it to be an investment as such, or I don't put it in my sort of investment pot, if you like. I basically consider it to be, a diverse way of holding some cash on hand, if that makes sense. So obviously I have cash in the bank, but the gold is, another form of quite liquid, as good as cash, near enough. Yes, I have to go to the vault, I have to take it out of the vault, I have to then sell it to somebody or a dealer or whoever to get that cash, but it's relatively liquid stuff that we're stacking here, and it's not such an arduous process. It does have its costs and effort involved, etc. But I do just consider it to be a slight diversification from cash, and not as such in my investment. So there is obviously an opportunity cost to holding gold, which I'll talk about in another video. But in terms of what I would like gold to do, it's a bit of a dilemma. Whilst in one hand I do want gold to increase in fiat value, I also want it to go down so I can buy more cheaper. And if that makes sense, I would be happy if the gold price went down quite considerably, because I could obviously buy more. But then obviously the value of what I already have is therefore less. So it might not be less than what I paid for it initially, in the past whenever I bought it, but it may be some of it. And perhaps you end up buying at a high point in the market, and then the price just drops, and you're sort of sat there. You think maybe sort of holding the bag a bit, but things go up and down. Prices don't go up in a straight line. Things go up for a while, they go up in a wave and down in a wave, and sometimes that can be weeks, sometimes months, or even years, and things come in and out of favour as well. So it is worth considering, but I am curious what people's expectations are, what you're anticipating to happen perhaps, but yeah, what you'd be happy with really. So if I put the same amount of money into my shares, and if you're in the US, stocks, portfolio if you like, or into property, and it performed like gold did last year, I'd be pretty disappointed, to be honest. I wouldn't really be very impressed with my share picking abilities. I would be definitely doing some analysis and seeing where I went wrong. Whilst in pound terms it went up about 5.5%, gold did. In dollar terms, did a bit better. It did about 13%. So yeah, if you're in dollar terms, obviously gold has done reasonably well. and in that sense, you know, some people who are picking shares are losing money, or perhaps years when people who are investing in indexes, the markets go down, then you know, for those people, they might wish they put money into gold. Gold is typically less volatile, so it does tend to rise and fall less. So maybe that is why you're into gold. Maybe you are just putting it in because you expect the financial system to collapse, or something about BRICS currencies or nations or whatever to, you know, suddenly make the price of gold shoot up, or the value of gold shoot up. You know, we've got stackers here for many different reasons, and some are probably just collecting. You know, they just like the coins, they like to think about the history, and they're not really financially motivated to buy coins, and they're perhaps never expecting to ever sell them. They're just, you know, going to pass them on, or whatever happens, they're not too worried. So we have a range of stackers and opinions on the channel, and especially on YouTube. So I'm curious just to see what my viewers are thinking, and like I say, what your expectations are, what you'd be happy with, and where you think the gold price will go in 2024.